Adelaide Oval, cricket's most beautiful ground, home to legendary pink ball tests and unforgettable moments. But beneath the pristine grass and heritage grandstands lies a web of political deals, vanished children, and financial scandals that have shaped this iconic venue for over 150 years. What you're about to discover will change how you see this sporting cathedral forever. Most fans see Adelaide Oval as just another cricket ground. They cheer, they eat overpriced food, they go home. But what if I told you that this place holds secrets that go far beyond sport? Let's travel back to 1871. Adelaide Oval wasn't born from passion for cricket, it was born from politics. The South Australian Cricket Association pushed hard for a central ground, but they needed an act of parliament to lease part of the Adelaide parklands. Think about that. They literally had to change the law to build this place. Just as Samuel James Way, Henry Ayres, and Edwin Thomas Smith became the first trustees in 1872. These weren't just cricket lovers, they were Adelaide's power brokers. The decision required legislative approval, which means backroom deals and political maneuvering were happening from day one. The land itself tells a darker story. Before Adelaide Oval existed, this was sacred ground to the Kaurna people. In 1885, a grand corroboree drew 20,000 spectators to this very spot. 20,000 people came to watch Indigenous culture on land that would soon be transformed into a symbol of colonial sport. The cultural significance was already there. It was just being erased and replaced. The ground's establishment in 1873 immediately faced disputes over boundaries and funding. Local tensions were high, and not everyone wanted this cricket ground taking up prime public land. But the real drama was yet to come. Fast forward to 1884, and Adelaide Oval hosted its first test match. You'd think this would be a celebration, but it was marred by arguments over appearance money and umpiring. Players were fighting over pay, officials were fighting over decisions, and the whole event set a contentious tone that would define the venue for decades. Then came 1932, the infamous Bodyline series. This wasn't just about cricket tactics. Bill Woodfull and Bert Oldfield were struck by Harold Larwood's brutal bowling, and 50,962 spectators packed the ground. But tension was so high that police had to be deployed to manage the crowd. The violence of Bodyline wasn't limited to the field. Spectators were genuinely concerned about pitch tampering, so much so that during the series, a rifle was used to guard the pitch overnight. A rifle at a cricket ground. But Adelaide Oval was also witnessing greatness. Don Bradman's 299 not out in 1932 became legendary, stopped just one run short of 300, forever etched in cricket folklore. Decades later, David Warner would surpass the Don with 335 not out against Pakistan in 2019, becoming Adelaide Oval's highest individual test score. These moments of brilliance were happening amid all the chaos. The cracks in Adelaide Oval's foundation were already showing, and they were about to get much worse. In 1973, everything changed. A massive dispute between cricket and Sanfel administrators saw Australian rules football abandon Adelaide Oval entirely, moving to Football Park. Imagine that, football leaving its historic home because the cricket people couldn't play nice. But the real tragedy happened that same year. During a football game at Adelaide Oval, two young girls, Joanne Ratcliffe and Kirsty Gordon, simply vanished. They were there one moment, gone the next. This wasn't just a missing persons case, it became one of South Australia's most haunting, unsolved mysteries. The stadium that was supposed to bring joy to families became the site of every parent's worst nightmare. Yet cricket continued to produce magic here. The ground became famous for its batting-friendly conditions, creating some of the most memorable innings in cricket history. International stars like Sachin Tendulkar and Brian Lara carved out magnificent centuries on this very pitch. The 2015 introduction of pink ball cricket revolutionized the game globally, with Adelaide Oval hosting the world's first day-night test match, a moment that changed cricket forever. What's your favorite moment at the Adelaide Oval? Let me know in the comments. The 1990s brought new problems. In 1997, Adelaide Oval clashed with the Adelaide City Council over retractable lights. The dispute got so heated that one of the lights actually collapsed. They had to install permanent towers instead. Even the infrastructure was fighting back. The 1992 ODI was supposed to mark a new era for Adelaide Oval, but it was a rain-affected disappointment. But cricket fans remember other classics, like the 2015 World Cup match between India and Pakistan that drew over 1 billion viewers globally, creating an electric atmosphere that reminded everyone why this ground was special. By the 2000s, Adelaide Oval was crumbling both literally and figuratively. The grandstands were aging, football was gone, and the venue was struggling to maintain its relevance. Something had to change, but the solution would create even bigger problems. In 2012, the South Australian government made a decision that would change everything: a $535 million commitment to completely redevelop Adelaide Oval. $535 million of taxpayer money for a cricket ground. This wasn't just renovation, this was complete transformation. The Rand Labour government's motivation was clear: bring AFL back to central Adelaide and create an economic powerhouse. But the numbers tell a different story. The initial commitment was $450 million, which quietly ballooned to $535 million. That's an $85 million cost blowout that taxpayers had to absorb. SACA needed member approval for their contribution, and they got it. 80.37% voted yes. But this wasn't just about cricket anymore. This was about politics, egos, and big money. The federal government chipped in $25 million. SACA raised $45 million, but the state was carrying the massive burden. The redevelopment preserved some heritage features like the Moreton Bay fig trees and the 1911 scoreboard, but it created new problems. The eastern stand became infamous for poor sightlines. Fans literally couldn't see the bowler's foot landing clearly. People were paying premium prices for obstructed views. But the cricket that followed the redevelopment was extraordinary. The 2019 test against India produced one of cricket's most shocking collapses. India dismissed for just 36 runs, their lowest test score ever. It was cricket history written in the most dramatic fashion possible. Then there were the T20 moments that had fans on their feet. Yusuf Pathan's blistering 37-ball century in 2014 was pure entertainment, the kind of explosive batting that makes Adelaide Oval special. These weren't just cricket matches, they were sporting theater. The corporate heavy design killed the traditional atmosphere that made Adelaide Oval special. The riverbank and eastern stands prioritized corporate boxes over passionate fans. What was once a ground known for its electric atmosphere became sterile and quiet. But the real scandal was still coming. In 2018, the government approved a $42 million loan for the Oval Hotel project. $42 million in public money for a private hotel venture. The venue that was supposed to unite South Australia was tearing it apart. The parliamentary inquiry into the Oval Hotel loan became the climax of decades of controversy. Here was Adelaide Oval, this iconic sporting venue, being investigated by politicians for potential corruption. The inquiry questioned transparency, conflicts of interest, and whether public land was being used to benefit private interests. John Olsen, a powerful figure in South Australian politics and sport, found himself at the center of the storm. Critics argued that the hotel project favored commercial interests over public good. The optics were terrible. While regular fans complained about $35 parking fees and criminal food prices, the government was approving millions for luxury hotel development. The 2019 investigation revealed the messy relationships between government, sporting bodies, and private interests that had always defined Adelaide Oval. This wasn't just about a hotel loan. This was about power, influence, and who really controlled South Australia's most important sporting venue. The corporate stands that cost hundreds of millions of dollars were being compared unfavorably to smaller venues with better atmosphere. Wisden noted that Adelaide Oval lacked the electric vibe of grounds like Chinnaswamy Stadium. The money hadn't bought passion, it had bought sterility. Food prices reached criminal levels according to fans, with some joking about refinancing their homes just to buy lunch. The venue was becoming inaccessible to the very families it was supposed to serve. Despite all the drama, scandals, and controversies, Adelaide Oval has survived and even thrived. The 2027 Cricket World Cup is coming to Adelaide, confirming the venue's international status. The pink ball tests have become a global phenomenon, and the 50,000-plus capacity ensures major events keep coming. The cricket moments continue to pile up. Historic milestones like Eloise Sheridan becoming the first female umpire to officiate a BBL match in 2022 show the ground evolving with the times. The Oval Hotel controversy? It's now part of the venue's tourism appeal, along with the roof climb experience. The government loan that sparked so much debate is generating revenue and bringing visitors year-round. Sometimes controversial decisions work out, even if the process was messy. The accessibility upgrades funded by government grants in 2024, including sensory spaces and specialized facilities, show that Adelaide Oval is evolving to serve all fans, not just corporate clients. The venue is learning from past mistakes and trying to balance commercial success with community access. Modern curators like Damien Ho, one of the world's most respected groundsmen, are maintaining pitch standards that attract international praise. The drop-in pitches allow both cricket and AFL to coexist, solving the 41-year dispute that once split South Australian sport. The venue has grown from a political project into a sporting cathedral, carrying all its scars and controversies as badges of survival. Adelaide Oval's story isn't just about cricket or football, it's about power, politics, money, and the communities that fight for their sporting identity. The next time you walk through those gates, remember you're not just entering a stadium, you're stepping into 150 years of controversy, passion, and survival.